Thanks for joining us on our Alaskan adventure. If you love the unique and outdoors, Alaska is definitely in a class of its own. Alaska is filled with historic and unique opportunities to explore. This includes old mines, ghost towns, skiing, hunting, boating, camping, streams, lakes and rivers, waterfalls, ice fields, glaciers, and even the Aurora Borealis. All just waiting to be discovered. Talkeetna, Alaska. Talkeetna is home to MAHAY's jet boat tours. Due to time and money constraints, we decided against taking the trip up the roaring Susitna River. MAHAY's jet boat tours have been described as riding a rocket on the water. They offer 4 distinctly different tours. The Wilderness Excursion is a 2-hour, 20-mile exploration of the Susitna River. The Chulitna Gorge Tour is a 3.5-hour trip. This includes a quarter-mile nature stroll to an authentic trapper's cabin and Dina Ina encampment. Devil's Canyon Tour is a 5-hour river adventure. The tour covers 100 miles round trip through Denali State Park and Devil's Gorge. The River, Rail, and Trail Tour combines a jet boat adventure with a ride on the Alaska Railroad. I would highly recommend taking one of the tours if you have the time and resources. For more information, check the links in the description. Midway along the Alaska Railroad's 470-mile journey from Seward to Fairbanks lies Talkeetna. This has long served as a quaint stopover on the way to Denali National Park. This quirky, historic mountain town sits at confluence of the Susitna, Chulitna, and Talkeetna. It is a great place to shop for gifts, souvenirs, artwork, and local cuisine. Talkeetna is a small community of around 800 residents, located at the base of Mount McKinley. It serves as the primary staging area for expeditions headed to the summit of Mount McKinley. Talkeetna is the real-life town that inspired the fictionalized setting of the 1990s comedy drama, Northern Exposure. Since roughly 80% of Alaska is completely inaccessible by the roads, air travel isn't a luxury, it's an absolute necessity. Alaskans depend on aviation to serve as the state's highway network, local bus system, and their supply chain. Like many boroughs in Alaska, Talkeetna has its own airport. As we headed farther north up the park's highway, I noticed that there were fire warnings that could impact our travel. However, I was willing to continue our adventure to verify that the fire was truly impassable. Not only were there fire dangers, but construction to widen the highway was also a consideration. As luck would have it, neither became an obstacle to our travels. The Alpine Historical Park and Museum is located at mile number 61 on the Glen Highway. The park is located in the small community of Sutton, Alaska. The Alpine Historical Park provides a look at the remains of the 1922 coal wash plant and the equipment used for the highway construction. Here, the coal was crushed and conveyed by belt to the washer. 3 plungers agitated the water. This allowed it to wash and process 25 tons of coal an hour. A large elevator hauled the washed coal to the conveyor belt, which carried it to the dryer. A small elevator carried the waste rock from the washer and away from the processed coal. Visitors can look back in time to get a better understanding of the heritage and cultures of the early settlers. This includes the Athabascan culture, coal mining, and the construction of the important Glen Highway. The Richardson Highway meets the Alaskan Highway at mile number 7. This lies south along the Delta River from Big Delta. The place where the highways met became known as Delta Junction. This connection created a major motor route between Anchorage and Fairbanks, Alaska. The Sullivan Roadhouse Historical Museum is the oldest roadhouse in the interior of Alaska. Built in 1905 by John and Florence Sullivan. Located in the heart of Delta Junction. The lodge houses a museum that focuses on the Valdez-Fairbanks Trail. Beautifully recreated rooms and exhibits give visitors a feel for life and turn-of-the-century Alaska. Outside, visitors can explore the massive machinery that carved out the Alcan Highway from the Alaskan frontier. One can also enjoy a garden exploding with colorful wildflowers, a traditional vegetable garden. Located across from the Delta Visitor Center, the Sullivan is a great stop along the trail of Alaska's history. In addition to the Sullivan Roadhouse, Delta Junction sports a monument that commemorates the end of the Alcan Highway. Built during World War II to protect against Japanese invasion. The Alaska Highway was carved through 1,500 miles of wilderness in just over 8 months. One can hardly think of Alaska without thinking of the Alaskan Pipeline. Here in Delta Junction is also a display that refers to the pipeline pig. Pipeline pigs get their name from the distinct squealing sound they make while traveling through steel pipes. Pipeline pigs are devices inserted into pipelines to clean, inspect, or separate products without interrupting the flow. Propelled by the pressure of the gas or liquid in the pipe, they scrape away debris like wax and rust. Nenana, a small but legendary community in interior Alaska at the confluence of the Nenana and Tanana rivers. Why legendary, you might ask? In 1925, Nenana served as the critical jumping-off point for the famous life-saving diphtheria serum run. This was the inspiration for the Iditarod Trail sled dog race. We spent a little time at the Three Rivers Trading Post. Here you can find custom-made Alaskan gifts, coffee, snacks, and fresh nuts. The monument to the famous Taku Chief tugboat sits majestically behind the trading post. Built in 1938, the Taku Chief drew only 30 inches of water, allowing it to navigate shallow interior rivers. Used on the Tanana, Yukon, and Kayakuk rivers. It was the last commercial wooden tugboat on the Yukon River Basin. The tug was retired in 1978 and placed on dry land as a monument in Nenana. The Eklutna Heritage Park. The park contains colorful spirit houses constructed over graves. This is a Russian Orthodox and Athabascan practice. Families may use a specific color for their clan. From Anchorage, take the Glen Highway north to the Eklutna exit and turn left into the park. Crosses are placed on Orthodox church members' graves. Old St. Nicholas, Russian Orthodox Church, also known as the Eklutna Chapel. The church, built in 1894, of hand-hewn spruce logs, roughly 16 by 26 foot. A new church was built next to the old in 1962. It was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1972. The Eklutna Cemetery has been in use since 1650 and is now a historical park. The cemetery is still used today and is the most photographed graveyard in Alaska. Family members personalize each grave site with memorabilia from their loved one. It is very common for veterans' graves to be adorned with coins. Coins are left on military graves as a sign that living soldiers have visited the burial site to pay their respects. The practice has expanded and is considered a way for the general public to honor those who died in service to America. This traditionally where specific coins left on a headstone acts as a meaningful code. The penny indicates that you visited the grave. The nickel means you trained at boot camp with the deceased veteran. A dime signifies that you once served together on active duty. The quarter lets the family know that you were physically present with the service member when they died. The spirit houses are constructed by the deceased family members. Brilliant colors, unique structures, make every grave site a personal tribute to their perished loved one. A favorite toy, photographs, articles of clothing, favorite flowers, stuffed animals, personal items of every kind that remind the surviving family members of the special someone they lost. Respect and love is reflected throughout this unique cemetery. What a great way to memorialize that special friend or family member who has passed on from this world to the next. As we drove through the Alaskan wilderness, I kept seeing signs along the road like this one. I thought that it indicated Alaska Pipeline Number 3 at milepost 558. They were always next to an unpaved road. I had the feeling that they were a marker for the Alaskan pipeline. An access point, if you will. So I pulled down one of the unpaved roads, and sure enough, it ended at a pipeline access point. What Alaskan adventure would be complete without witnessing, experiencing, and learning about the pipeline? Construction officially kicked off in 1974 during the 1970s energy crisis. It is used to connect North America's largest oil field in Prudhoe Bay to global markets. The first oil officially flowed through the 800-mile route on June 20, 1977. To survive Alaska's extreme climate and seismic activity, the pipeline features unique elevated zigzag engineering. This allows the steel to expand and contract with 150-degree temperature fluctuations. Special supports allow the pipe to slide laterally to accommodate movement along earthquake faults. After some exploration of Alaska, nothing beats returning to Tab, Deb, and their family. Great friends, great times. Tab and Deb have a beautiful cabin in the woods. There is so much to see and do right here. Always a pleasure to spend time with them, exchanging stories around the campfire, taking trails back into the woods, and looking for the elusive moose that Tab and Gary claim to have seen. Just a great experience. Gary, Debbie, Ginger, and I could not have had a better time. My thanks go out to all of them. Tab, Deb, Cody, Brooklyn, Harper, and of course Cole. Thank you all. Thank you for joining us on this adventure. Please consider subscribing to the channel. It doesn't cost anything. It encourages us to bring more adventures like these to you and others. Don't forget to like and share. Until next time. Thank you.